Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to be back and doing another trying new makeup. I want to do a fall look, hence the green top. We're going to be playing with some muted green shades today. So I have a bunch of new products to test out with you guys. If you saw my Sephora haul, some of these products are from that haul and then some of them are PR, so we'll go over it. I wanted to say I have been having such long videos because I'm spending like 4 minutes talking about what I'm going to be using. So let me know if you like the idea of me just throwing photos up, and I will do that right now, of the products that I'm going to be using. Most of the time I do put a lot of the products in the thumbnail. Sometimes I can't fit them all, but I do try to put the most exciting ones in my thumbnails. But let me know if you like the idea of me just putting photos on the screen of what we're going to be trying today for this first impressions, instead of going through and saying, today we're going to be using this and we're going to be using this, just to save like 3 or 4 minutes on the intro. If you like this idea, I'll continue it. If not, we can go back. So please leave your, I guess, thoughts down below. Either way, it doesn't matter to me, but I just felt like I'm adding 4 minutes of time on going through each product. So I will link everything that I used today down below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like trying new makeup. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe, and let's go ahead and begin. So let's start off on our eyes. I really wanted to use this NARS palette that I really haven't heard many people talk about. I don't think it's on Sephora or Ulta, but it's actually on the NARS website. It's limited edition, and it's called the Climax eyeshadow palette, which I thought was a little bit weird. I feel like we've had Climax, I know there's like a Climax mascara and stuff like that, but this is the color story. I have not even swatched this. I did show this on my Instagram and you guys showed a lot of interest, and I mean, look at the vibes. The shirt, I mean, the nails are a little bit brighter, but we're going for the fall vibes, and this is my type of green, just because it's not neon or too bright. This is like fall in a nutshell, and I really wanted to use this palette. I haven't used a ton of NARS eyeshadow palettes. I mean, I have in the past, but it's not a formula that I can really remember how much I liked it. From what I can remember, I feel like it was a good formula, but it wasn't like blowing my mind. So it's been a while, and I just love this color story. So let's go ahead and swatch this first. All right, so it looks like we have 4 standard metallics in here. They feel quite creamy, very nice pigment there. What I mean by creamy is they don't feel dry at all. They're not hard pressed. When you touch them, they really do just feel like they have a really nice creamy feel. It does look like there is one in here that might be a satin shade, so let's swatch that. It just feels different. Yeah, so if you can see, I would say it's still a metallic, but it's not as intense as these 4. And when you look in the pan here, you can see that the 4 metallics stand out, and then there's this one that looks a little bit more muted. And then there are 4 mattes in here, so you have 2 lighter shades and then 2 deeper, one of them being a green. So let's swatch that. Okay, it's not swatching as intensely as the metallics, but honestly, it could just be the way that I swatched that. Overall, it's not swatching bad or anything like that. They do seem like maybe a softer matte formula. Again, not bad. So we're gonna go ahead and do an eye look. I really wanna lean into the greens. So I'm gonna be using some Rephr brushes today. They sent me, I think, most of their collection, which I'm really excited to use. The Rephr brushes that I've tried before, I really like, and they sent me just like a whole set of them. So thank you to Rephr, and I'll just be using them today and tell you guys my thoughts. But so far I really like the Rephr brushes. I'm going to be using the 28, and I'm going to start off here with this green shade, this matte green. And I feel like I want to do a halo. For some reason, the way that my eyes are set up, I don't necessarily like a shimmer just on the lid. For me, I feel like I need some sort of like halo grounding it. So I'm just going to pack this on. The reason I'm using this brush, okay, wow, pigmented. The reason I'm using this brush is because I really want to place it and make sure that I'm getting the most intensity, and then I will blend the edges. So what are you guys most excited for holiday makeup? I feel like we're seeing a lot of sneak peeks. I've already seen some pretty good sets on Sephora and Ulta. And a lot of new makeup and new brands, like Nikki Tutorials is coming out with a brand, which I'm intrigued by. And then Ariana Grande, I heard even Jennifer Aniston. I'm most intrigued by, I would say, Ariana Grande, but if you guys want me to try Nikki's line, let me know. Although I don't know if everything would be something that I would use. I was most probably interested in her primer. She has like a marshmallow primer and maybe a setting spray, so we'll see. Okay, so we've got that set down. I'm gonna go with a BK Beauty 202. This has nothing on it, and I'm going to start blending these edges here. So I don't want to lose the pigment, but I just want to soften the edges. And I'm dipping back in to that green just because I don't want to lose the intensity. So I feel like we've lost a little bit here, so I might have to pack on again. Another thing you can do is not set your base if you really want like deep shades to grab on. I feel like when I'm blending, I'm getting some lifting, so that's like, I mean, it's not like a huge thing, but just looks a little patchy to me. It's going to sort of pack over what we lost there. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see, it's like not wanting to grab. That is weird. Okay, I'm gonna take a different brush. This is a Rephr 14. Try to blend with this, just because it's a little bit smaller. I feel like a lot of people always talk about how purples are really hard to formulate. I have a hard time with greens, specifically matte greens, like these army green colors, I feel like are some of the hardest to work with. I'm not really sure why that is. Okay, I'm taking my finger just to really go over. So I don't know if you can see, but it almost looks lighter when you place it down, like you pack it on, but then when you start blending, it goes into a deeper green. Like right in here, it looks like a soft green, and then when I blend it, same thing over here. That's interesting. So I'm gonna try to soften this. I'm gonna use this shade up here, and I'm gonna try to blend this in the crease. I'm gonna use a BK Beauty 201. I actually am sort of struggling with this green, which is not a good sign. So I'm essentially gonna take this through the crease, try to soften the edges of this green. I really hope I can figure this out because I wanted to do a fall look so bad. I'm struggling with this green specifically. I am going to jump in to this deep brown shade, and I'm hoping that this can sort of help just the patchiness. It's almost like that green goes on like a light green, and then when you blend it, it goes a different color, but it's not wanting to stick in certain areas. So I'm gonna take this brown and I'm gonna keep this low, like really low, to hopefully kind of make up for the unevenness of that green. I'm disappointed. I really was like loving this color story, but in the back of my head I thought these army greens always give me trouble. So I'm going to take that brush before and just lightly blend. So I do feel like that helped. Seems like maybe the problem was that just that green. Now again, it could have been my base, but I really don't typically struggle. Well, I don't know. Even that brown is doing that where it looks different color. When you blend it, seems to just change. So I'm just kind of going over again. I want to make sure that everything is blended. I'm going to go into the middle green shade, and I'm going to put this on the center of my lid. Feels super creamy, like I said. It's a little bit chunky in the sense that there's some sort of like glitter in there, so it's like a chunky metallic. So I am going to press this in the center of the eye. I'm using it dry, by the way. Now I'm sure if you use it wet, it would get even more intense. Okay, and then I want to punch it up a little bit more, so I'm going to take this shade up here. I'm going to try to pat this like right in the center. See if we can just brighten it a little bit. Just a little bit. It doesn't change it a ton, but it just makes it a little bit brighter, although I like either way. I'm gonna reinforce that green down by the lid. That green, it really is beautiful. So I'm liking the metallics in here, but the mattes are just a little bit difficult. And then I'm just going in with the brush that I put that brown on to make sure that everything is seamless. So now I want to do a little bit of liner. I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Life Liner Quick and Easy. This is my new holy grail. If you haven't seen my past videos, this is smaller than any other market on the liner, and it is a brush tip, which I love. Just make sure when you're using any type of liner that you shake it and shake it downward so the ink comes down. But I'm going to go ahead and do a wing. See how easy that was? And I noticed this one glides super easy, which, I mean, it is a brush tip. That's why I like them. Essentially, if you like the KVD tattoo liner or the NYX Epic ink, but you want something even more precise, this is incredible. So my eyeliner is done, and I want to move on to the new Patricktaw Mascara. This is called the Major Volume Mascara. I've had quite a few ask me about this, and I did receive this in PR. It is supposed to be a volumizing mascara. It says, intensely black, ultra dramatic mascara for ultimate volume, lift, and definition. Really nice weighted packaging, very much on trend with his other rose gold packaging. And then inside, this is what the wand looks like. It's not a massive volumizing wand, but it definitely is just a little bit thicker than those really lengthening mascaras that we see. Now, I've tried this a couple times, and I do agree that this is volumizing. I don't see much length with it, but more volume at the base of the root. It also seems to be a little bit more of a dry formula. So I'm gonna go ahead and start applying. It might be hard to see with this wing because this is just more so volumizing, which, to be fair, that's how it is marketed. It's also buildable in my opinion. So here is 3 coats on one eye. As I said, I just feel like it is a drier formula like the Rare Beauty, which I like. It's not very messy. The wand isn't overly huge where you feel like you can't get in there. It is buildable. I don't notice that it gets very clumpy at all, but I would like more length. I personally prefer the Rare Beauty to this one, or I could see it working if you use this like 1 or 2 coats and then use the Rare Beauty to really lengthen. But who's gonna buy like 2 expensive mascaras? Just because I have both on hand, I can like say that I would, you know, use them together, but I just don't think this gives me enough length. So this is 3 coats on each side. It definitely does give me some volume, and you can definitely see my lashes, but it doesn't give me, I guess, the lift and the length that I get with some of my other favorites. I do feel like this one doesn't hold a curl as well. I've noticed, like, I feel like I curled my lashes and put this on and my lashes are sort of heavy, if that makes sense. Whereas the Rare Beauty, I didn't notice that. So I'll keep trying this out, but I feel like it's mostly good for volume at the base of your lash. It's just not my favorite overall. Okay, so that escalated quickly. I applied these lashes from Tati Lashes. I actually like them in the style Rich AF, but then I went to fix my liner and then I just went crazy and my liner is massive, which usually I would like scrap the video, but I'm hoping that we can just make it work. It's a trying new makeup. These are new lashes to me, so we're just gonna keep it moving. I did my skincare or my prep. I will link all the products I use down below, but I have a couple new products I wanna show you guys that I'm excited about. So the first one I actually bought off of QVC. Fun fact, I used to watch QVC makeup a lot and I would buy a ton of products from like Laura Geller, Mally Beauty, and now QVC has so many new brands. They even have Hailey's Beauty, which is exciting. But I was looking at some reviews, and this had really good reviews. I've tried a couple products from this brand, but this is the Doll 10 Super Coverage Makeup. So I was watching some videos, reading some reviews, and essentially it is a really high coverage makeup that looks natural. It had really good reviews, so I grabbed it. I got the shade medium. It comes with a brush, but I really want to use a sponge, and let me tell you why. This brand, Base Blue Cosmetics, they've sent me some brushes and sponges in the past, but they sent me the cutest sponge I've ever seen for Halloween. Look at these little ghost sponges. They sent these and me and Cheryl were like, oh my God, have you seen these sponges? Because they sent both of us them. They're super soft too. So this is the sponge dry. I mean, this is literally the cutest thing I've ever seen. I'm usually not like into the really cutesy stuff, but I mean, I got to admit, this is adorable. So you have a little ghost man and then you have the wet ghost, very soft. Obviously it gets larger. So I want to try it. I know it's going to get dirty because it's white, but I just thought this was like super cute. So I'll link these down below. The foundation has kind of a weird packaging. It's not my favorite, but we'll just make it work. So this is the foundation. It's definitely a thicker foundation. And again, I got the shade medium. Now the only thing about some of the brands on QVC is they don't have like huge shade ranges. They really have like fair, light, medium, tan, deep. That's one thing I've noticed. It's giving good coverage. It's actually looking pretty good. Shade is nice or doable for me. A little bit lighter than my self tan. I'm gonna take a little bit more because it's not a pump. You just squeeze it out. So it's kind of hard to tell how much you need, but I would say this is a medium to full coverage. This sponge is adorable. You guys will have to let me know if any of you shop at QVC. Like I said, I used to. It's one of those things that I really have found some great products from, but I've also found a lot of products that I spent money on that I really didn't need or want. So I don't really watch it anymore as much, but I used to like really like watch every beauty show to see all the new stuff. Okay, I have to be honest, I really like this foundation. I know not many people on YouTube talk about like Doll 10 or brands that are not like at Sephora and Ulta, but I feel like my skin looks nice and healthy, but not overly textured. The coverage was great. It applied beautifully. Also the sponge, I mean, it's adorable, but also functional. It really was soft, applied everything super nicely. So I don't have a brand new concealer that I haven't shown yet. So I'm just gonna use my Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade 9. This is the new Magic Touch concealer. So I'm gonna flip our little ghost over and use this little part. I mean, this sponge is adorable. I actually was looking on their website because I was like, wait a minute. And they had, I think like a holiday one too. I can't remember if it was like a snowman, but it was adorable. So this ABH concealer is really nice, especially if you have dry under eyes. Very creamy, good coverage, super hydrating. Look at this sponge.
Sweet.
Do you love it?
I guess.
What is it?
Semen?
What? Casper the Friendly Ghost. Isn't it cute?
Oh, there's 2 of them?
Well, it gets bigger. Yeah, they sent me 2, but it gets bigger when you like dampen it. Do you love it?
Can't wait to clean them.
As you should. So here is the concealer blended out. Honestly, it's really nice. I feel like those of you that like the Kosas or you want something that's super hydrating but you need the coverage, you will like it. Another one I like for dry under eyes is the Armani Power Fabric, but it's thinner and doesn't have the same creaminess and coverage. So if you need a little bit more coverage, you may really like the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think they really knocked it out of the park with this. Also, I love this little guy. Like, this is actually perfect for getting right in here. I'm curious how this will wash, just because it is a light color. It kind of happens with all sponges, but it's just really working beautifully. It's for right under the eye. It kind of gets right under my wing here, right in the corner. So I'm loving this sponge and I think it's adorable, of course. So I'm gonna set now. I'm gonna use under my eyes my Huda Beauty Pound Cake, and then I'm gonna use my new Huda Beauty Banana Bread for the rest of my face. So I'm just gonna pull this down the center. Honestly, this foundation might be a new favorite. So now I wanna finish off the eyes. I feel like I have to do something dramatic on the lower lash line because I went crazy on the top lash line. So I'm gonna go in with this deep brown shade. And I'm gonna put this really tight on my lash line. Switching brushes here. So I'm gonna leave the center open. I might put that green in there. And I'm gonna pull this up like under the wing here. Again, I'm gonna go into this shade right here and I'm just gonna use a fluffy brush and I want to blend underneath. Sort of matches the top here. Now I'm going to take some of this green on a damp brush. This is pretty hard to do without fallout. All right, I switched brushes, which seems to work a little bit better, and I did wet it. So I'm just putting this right in the center. I am applying the Shiseido eyeliner in the waterline. This is a really nice eyeliner because nice and creamy, nice and black. They have different shades too, but tiny. So you can get right in your waterline and on your lash line. And then if you want a tight line, it's like super tiny. And then to brighten the eye, because I feel like we're really deep here, I'm gonna go into this shade, which is more of a pinky tone. I hope it's not too deep. I'm just gonna put it in the inner corner here. I'm actually gonna put a little bit here too. I feel like I need to brighten this up a little bit. Okay, so I think the eyes are done. That was a journey to say the least, and I don't even know how I feel about it, but we're just gonna keep moving. I'm gonna go on to give myself some structure. I'm gonna be using the new Charlotte Tilbury Nude Gasm Face Palette. I bought this from Sephora, so I really wanna focus in and try to contour because this eye look is so intense. So I am gonna start off with the lightest shade in here. So I'm actually using a little Benefit brush. I actually really like this to contour, like the actual size of it. Okay, so that's extremely cool toned, which, I mean, I know it's a sculpt, but I don't know if I'm just getting thrown off from the eyes and nothing else on the face. So let me try to go in next to the, okay, that I don't like, that this won't like stay up. I'm gonna go into the deeper shade here. It looks a little bit warmer too, using the same brush. So this is the super sculpt, whereas the other one was the soft sculpt. So I feel like it blended fine and it really did give me a sculpt. The first shade I think is just too light, honestly, but this one I would use more so just with a light hand. I feel like I'm looking absolutely insane. I'm gonna go in with my Jouer dark powder. I actually have hit pan on this. I don't hit pan on many things because I have a lot, but this is one of my favorite bronzers, and it's not even a bronzer. It's literally a face powder, but I just use it in the shade dark. So I'm gonna use this to bronze just because this Charlotte palette is more of a sculpt palette. It's not really a bronzing palette. So now I wanna try the blush in here. I'm not sure how this will look with the eye look, but we're gonna try it out anyways. And I don't believe that I've ever tried a product like this from Charlotte. So I'm trying to keep it up a little bit. It's pretty, but I'm probably gonna add something to the apples of my cheeks because this is glowy, not really what I usually put like right in here. So you can see that it's giving me a glow. It's not chunky, it's definitely glowy though. So I would say just use a light hand if you don't really use super glowy blushes. I wanna go into the highlighter though. I think I am gonna really like this just because I liked these kind of baked formulas. And I'm gonna use a Refer 20, which I typically don't do, like a fan brush. I don't really have many in my collection, but that's pretty. So that highlight is really pretty. It's not as blinding as some of my other highlighters. It almost gives you like an all over glow. It could be that blush too. I'm gonna add a little bit of one of my favorite blushes to the apples of my cheeks. This is an oldie but a goodie. It's from Dior in the Backstage line. This is the Rosy Glow Blush in Coral. I've been using it recently. I know the pink one sold out because there was rumors that Kylie wears it, and apparently she doesn't really, but I like both of them. So the pink has been sold out for like ever. But this is the coral. Yeah, I just need a little bit more blush. If you can see like on this side, I just like a little bit more color. Now, if you saw my Sephora haul, I did pick up one of the Dior Forever Luminizers, and I got the shade 01 Nude Glow. I'm gonna go ahead and try this as well. I just wanna see like what the difference is in terms of the Charlotte versus this. I know there's some mixed reviews if you check these out on Sephora. Seems like the icy color people aren't really loving, and then there's a pink tone and then 2 more bronze ones. So all the bad reviews that I've seen have been about the icy color. I think it was just like a glitter bomb. This one I really like so far. So I feel like the Dior is a little bit more intense than the Charlotte and a little bit warmer, but hopefully we can really pull this together with a lip look. So for lip liner, I'm gonna use Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. I'm actually going to take a little bit of this Natasha Denona lip liner in Dana. I just want to darken these outer corners because I know how light this lipstick is that I'm going to apply. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in Cover Star. Super nude. But I feel like this is what I needed for this eye look. All right, guys, so finally, here's my finished makeup look. We're having some issues. So on this inner part of my eye, I have a watery eye, which is really not something that I usually deal with. And it is taking off the shadow and the liner. I try to fix it, and then 2 minutes later, it's taking it off again. And it's only on this eye, so I really don't know what to do to fix that. We're just gonna have to roll with it. So let's start off with my thoughts on this NARS palette. I cannot remember the last time I've struggled so much with matte shadows. These 2 shades just gave me a hell of a time trying to blend them, build them. They didn't want to stick, but then they were sticking in other areas, which is strange because I had no issues with any of the other shades. The metallics in here are gorgeous. This shade was nice as well to blend out, and it actually helped me and really saved these 2 mattes. This one was the worst offender, the green one. This brown one though, still just wanted to stick down in certain areas and then not in others. I'm really sad because I like this color story, and I think my final look is interesting. I don't know if I love it just because I feel like I struggled so much, but I'm disappointed because I really want to love this color story and love the formula on this. And these 2 shades, which are vital to give you that really, you know, smoky, grungy fall look, were really hard to work with. Now, of course, this is my first impression, but I just spent so much time trying to perfect this, and this is the best I could come up with, and I don't have the patience to do that when I have tons of formulas that I love. So I'll try this again, you know, randomly and see maybe if it was my base, but it's the base I use with everything, so this was really hard to work with. I'm really sad about it. The Patricktaw Mascara, again, I like it, but not a love for me. It is very much volumizing at the base. I don't find it to be messy. I don't find it to be super clumpy. I just feel like it doesn't curl or hold my curl. I feel like it gets a little bit heavy and wants to pull down my lashes. So for me, this would be the kind of mascara that I would just wiggle right at the base and then use another mascara to lengthen. It's an okay mascara, but it's not wowing me. I really want a mascara that's gonna make my lashes look as big and long and fluffy as possible. This gives me the volume, but it doesn't give me enough length. So I'm absolutely impressed and really loving this Doll 10 Beauty foundation. Let me know down below if any of you guys shop at QVC for makeup or anything else, and if you've tried this specifically. I've tried Doll 10, you know, years ago, but I actually really like this. I feel like my skin doesn't look dry, but it gave me the coverage and it's not slipping and sliding. I like the feel of it. So I'm interested to keep giving this a try because so far so good, and I love this sponge. Actually love it. I love how soft it is. I mean, of course it's adorable, but I actually really like this little, you know, ghost booty because you can get right up here where you need to. Very soft and blendable. So this is honestly adorable if you wanted to gift it to somebody or just grab some for yourself. It's actually functional too. So I really like this. I'll link it down below. Also loving the Abh Concealer. Super hydrating, creamy, great coverage. honestly really wowed by this. I know a lot of you are as well. Excited to keep trying it out, but every time I use this, it just gives me that nice medium coverage. It doesn't look heavy or feel heavy, and it makes me look hydrated. It does not enhance texture or little fine lines, so I really like this. I actually really like this Dior highlighter. The shade is a little bit deep, as I had mentioned, but I think I can pull it off, and I've seen some mixed reviews, as I had said, on the Sephora app, but what I think I was seeing was that people were not liking the really icy shade. They were saying that it was really glittery and just not flattering. I don't find this one to be glittery. It's very much a, you know, glow, bronzy gold glow, so I really like this. I like the Charlotte Tilbury palette. Don't know if I'm blown away. Could be just off because, you know, these eyes really just took me to the edge. You know, it's like, okay, how many times can I blend this and try to figure this out? So I don't know if that kind of skewed how I feel about this because I was really just trying to focus on saving the eyes. I think I would have rather seen maybe like this shade in here and then a warm color in here. But other than that, it is definitely a sculpting palette. I had no issues in terms of application, no patchiness or anything like that. I just think you really got to know that this is very cool toned in terms of the bronze or contour shades, and then the highlighter and the blush are very glowy. So if you have texture like me, you may not love just this blush on the apples of your cheeks. So just keep that in mind. And then of course, I love this Charlotte lipstick. I feel like it really does go well with the look because we got a lot going on. This is driving me absolutely insane. I just can't. But we got a lot going on in the eyes, so we really needed something just very muted, and that's kind of my favorite look, a darker lip liner with a muted lipstick. I already know I love the formula on that, so I think that was everything today. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything because I feel like my eye is watering and it's just driving me insane. So despite our struggles, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed seeing me try to do a grungy fall look. I don't know what went wrong with that palette, but I'll have to keep trying it out and I'll keep you guys updated. And if you have it and you've tried it, please let me know your thoughts. I will link all the products I used today down below in my description box. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, even though it was a little bit of a mess. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.